Hey, Daan here, and in this video we are going to discuss exactly what the ideal sales process is for accounting firm owners who want to work with business owners looking to outsource their tax and accounting services. And in this video I will break down literally every single step from the moment someone actually sees your ad to the moment that they actually pay you for your services. So first of all, I will quickly introduce myself. My name is Daan and I'm the owner of Accounting Kings. For 5 years now, we work with accountants to help them get more business owner clients who buy high revenue tax and accounting services. We've worked with over 100 accountants and I create these videos just to basically share all my knowledge so that you can implement the things for yourself and see it works and make more money. So let's quickly dive right into the video. And in this video, we are going to talk about the whole process, not just sales, not just marketing, but every single step that you need to optimize to actually get the most out of your marketing campaigns. Because something that is so important to realize is that if you are going to do marketing for your firm, you want to exponentially grow, maybe you want to double your firm in the next year, maybe you want to double the firm in 2025, but you just don't really know how to do this. You need to realize that the whole process is little processes in processes, like your sales process, like the process that you have from like the initial moment someone walks in the door until they leave are all simple processes in processes. There's a process in greeting someone, in shaking someone's hand. There's a process in asking questions. There's a process in introducing yourself. And you need to optimize every single process so that you can get the best results. So in this video, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to break down every single step of the whole sales and marketing process so that you can take a look which step is actually lacking in your current process, work on it, improve it, and then of course get more clients because of it. And with this exact process, we have helped our clients to generate over $1 million in lifetime value with this exact process. And I'm going to give everything away to you, and I'm going to also explain to you what are the different things that you actually need to test to optimize. Because the main thing about this system is it's all about gathering data and testing new things. Simply, if you look at your whole sales and marketing process, and you know that one of the parts are lacking and giving you worse results than desired, you know that you need to make some changes. And if you just change one thing at a time, give it enough data so that you can see if there was an increase or decrease, you can make small little steps in creating the best process there's out there. And that's exactly what I did over the last 5 years. It works really well. So without further ado, let's dive into my laptop right now. I will share my screen and we are going to cover every single section of the system, how you can implement it for yourself. Okay, so I took some time to actually create this step-by-step process for everybody watching. This is basically the whole process from the moment that someone actually sees and clicks on your ad till the moment that they're going to pay you. And I'm going to cover every single thing and how to optimize every single section, from a landing page, from the ad to the landing page, to how to gather the data, the data of the potential clients, just basically generate leads, how to nurture the leads, what to do with scheduling them, the reminders, what to do with the first meeting, then the phase between those meetings, and then what to do in the second meeting. So I've already made a video earlier, I think last month, 2 months ago actually, about the ideal sales process, which basically covers this over here. But yeah, let's just dive right in. Let's start with the ad. So this process can be used when you are advertising for your firm, but if you are running, for example, an organic LinkedIn campaign, you can also implement this. This is basically all about the first point that someone is actually going to get in contact with you, right? And with advertising is basically nowadays the ads are based out of the body copy, the creative, so the photo or the video, the description, the title, and the offer. And I've made the offer bold because the offer is arguably the most important thing about the advertising campaign. Because we do a test every single year, but I've spent thousands of dollars just on testing offers, just to find out that a free consultation works best. And the reason why I'm laughing is because so many people give away free consultations, and there are a few other offers like variations of a free consultation that sometimes convert better, but in general, free consultation works best. And I wanted to test it out for myself. We tested just schedule a call, get a free quote, free discovery call, free strategy session, and we are testing offers right now where we say schedule a free consultation and get our free download of how to improve your cash flow, for example. But still, the free consultations outperform the rest, and I think the reason for this is because that everybody kind of knows what a free consultation is. So people are very familiar with what a free consultation is, meaning that they know exactly what to expect, and people like things that they are familiar with. They like knowing exactly what's going to happen. So a free consultation is essentially one of the best offers still out there, and we always do the free consultation first over the phone. And it's important that you always qualify the people that you are going to actually talk to, because by offering a free consultation, there's no light without dark. You will also attract a lot of, how do you say it friendly, cheap clients. Basically people that are just going to call you, spend 30 minutes talking just to have an answer to a simple question and never become a client. That's the only downside of a free consultation, but you simply need to qualify them a little bit better. So there are a couple ways to do this. Right now we do this by, if someone wants to submit the form, they need to answer questions, and you can come up with those questions yourself. Typically we ask, do you own a business? What industry are you in? How much money are you currently making with your business, and what services are you looking for? By answering those questions, we have a good understanding of if someone is actually qualified to even talk with us, if they are worth our time. If you are doing incoming calls, you can either have your assistant take the incoming calls and schedule them for you and ask those questions. You can of course take the calls yourself, but I assume that you are pretty busy. What we currently do, and that's actually the last video I've uploaded as of right now, that's AI. We actually implement AI to take those incoming calls. So that's everything about the offer. Now, if you are in the ad creating stage of your whole funnel, right, of your whole sales marketing process, you need to do some research on how to write good body copy, how to have good creative descriptions and titles. Now I'm going to make more videos about this in the future. Shameless plug to subscribe. But for now, I thought it was easier to get started with the foundation since the channel was still relatively young. So that's all about the offer. In terms of the title, and it's basically everything from the ad, you want to always split test them with different angles, different wording, different tonality. So for example, a couple of things that you can already test with titles, which we've done when we are actually doing Facebook ads. First, you have an angle with just the offer. Just create the offer, the thing that you are giving away. Have an angle with creating an enemy. People are always, that's actually something you see with the last election, or basically every single election in the US, where there is a two-party system, is that they always create an enemy, kind of enemy for each other, because it's easy to get someone's vote or to win someone over if you have a thing in common. And for example, if someone doesn't agree 100% with what you are saying, but you both disagree with what someone is saying, what someone else is saying, you still have something to agree on. And then you can kind of bond in those things. That's something that every political party actually uses. And you can do this same for your campaign too, because nobody likes to give money for free to the IRS. So with your ad, your whole angle can be, for example, I'm just randomly bringing up some things, but the title with "We will fight the IRS for you," for example. IRS is the shared enemy. So you need to test different angles, but you can do this to offer, create an enemy together with the people that the people are reading. But you can also just talk more about the desired situation of the people that you are targeting. So for example, spend more time with your loved ones because we will take over the tax and accounting for you. Have sleepless night because you don't have to worry that Uncle Sam is going to infiltrate your home and steal your hard-earned money. Things like that. Something else that you can do is talk about the obstacles, like the things the things are stopping them from getting their desired situation. Okay, so from the ad part, those are the things that you all need to test, and you only want to test one thing at a time, and this is extremely important. With the whole system, at all times, only test one thing at a time. And I will make myself a bit bigger. Reason why with this whole system you want to only create one test at a time is because I really want to like make this clear. If you are going to change multiple things, so you are going to change the ad, but also the landing page and how you gather data, and there's a really big increase in the results or a really big decrease in the results, then you still don't know what actually caused the change. So let's say that you are testing things where you test just the offer in the headline versus a shared enemy. That's test one. But you also test how you are gathering data. You don't really know what is actually causing the increase or decrease in the results, and you cannot really double down on it. Because if you have something that works, you have an angle that works with your ads or your landing pages or your data gathering, you need to double down on it. You need to do more of it until it's not going to actually help you. So that's one thing that I really want to stress, is it's so important that you actually test only one thing at a time. This is named scientific testing. It's basically taking a scientific approach to the way that you are optimizing your sales and marketing campaign. So that's everything for the ads. So if you're going to create your advertising campaigns, let's say in 2025 you want to change your ad campaign and you want to write a couple ads, just create a spreadsheet and write 10 copies, or actually record or make 10 creatives, 10 descriptions and 10 titles. And the reason why you want to create at least 10 is because then it's very easy to start split testing them. A rule of thumb is that we always say is that at least have like 200, at least that's bare minimum impressions before you're going to create a new version. In the for ads, for Facebook ads, that's not really hard. With Google ads, for example, you will get fewer impressions, so you need to wait a little longer. But that's kind of a rule of thumb. So you need to take a very scientific approach to this. Just create a plan, write your titles, descriptions, record a couple of videos, and write your body copy, put it in a spreadsheet, and then just simply create a plan. Let's say that you are creating your first ad, you are posting it, you are giving it 200, 400, 500 impressions, and you want to make a new iteration. What you then do is you change one variable. Okay, so these are all the variables. First, things that have the biggest impact on the whole campaign are the offer, of course, but also the title and description. So those are the first few things that you want to start split testing. And then just change one thing. Take a look what the click-through rate is doing. Click-through rate is basically the percentage of people clicking on your ad. And the higher the click-through rate, the more the platforms are going to favor your ads in a way. Because the platform, they want that their users are having a great experience also with your ads. And if a lot of people are clicking on your ads and having a good experience with your campaign, it will serve your ads to more people for a lower cost. Okay, so those are the things that you want to change first, and just start split testing them. See, hey, if my click-through rate is going to increase, it means that my title got more eyeballs and that people were clicking more often. Okay. I don't want to go too much into that about every single step. Again, this is more about the foundation. That's why I'm creating this video first before actually going into the nitty-gritty of everything. So that's about the ads. Create a spreadsheet for yourself. Start taking some action and just actively think about, hey, how do I need to write copy? And a really good book about this is Breakthrough Advertising. It's pretty expensive though, but it's basically about one of the best advertisers. Eugene Schwartz, I think it is, and he essentially talks about that every single step of your ad needs to trigger someone to take the next step. And for the title, it needs to trigger people to stop reading. Same thing for the creative. For the body copy, like the first part of the body copy, and that's like the big part of the text that people read, it needs to actually trigger people to read the next part, and then the next part, and the next part, until you basically tell them, now click the button to schedule your free consultation, for example. So yeah, those are all the things that you need to start testing. Just do some research, not too long, of course. Don't do months of research. It's better to get started without any research than do research and never start. But that's the things to think about regarding the ads, okay? So break everything down and start testing things here and there. Then the landing page. And but with this whole system, actually, now I'm thinking about it, the landing page is the things that I spend most time on. Simply because if someone clicks on your ads and they land on a landing page, if you double the amount of conversions that your landing page is going to get you, you simply double every single step of this whole process, okay? Same thing, of course, with ads, but nowadays with digital advertising, you need to spend more money to get more clicks. So getting ads, of course, is influenced by how, if the platforms actually like your ads. With Facebook and Google, if you have really good ads, people enjoy seeing your ads, maybe they even love about your ads, then the platforms are going to favor your ads and they're going to charge you less. So that's one. But the landing page is way more direct, because before the platforms are going to judge your ads and see if people are actually enjoying your ads, it takes thousands and thousands of dollars before they are going to come up with this conclusion. With your landing page, it changes a minute and then you can directly have the results and see the impact. So that's really important to remember. The landing page will arguably have the biggest impact on your whole sales and marketing process. I've also made a video already about landing pages, what we implement. But this is basically the things that you want to implement with your landing page. First of all, again, most important thing is the offer. I hope that this kind of speaks for itself, but make sure that your offer on the ad is the same as on the landing page, as of with the whole process, of course. And the offer, again, free consultation will do. And then the landing page itself, you want to test a couple of things. So again, I've broken everything down in this whole process in things that you need to test yourself, because I can give you fish and you eat for a day. If I teach you how to fish, you can eat for a lifetime. So thing one that you want to test is the offer, of course. Some other things is the above the fold, image, headline, and description. Above the fold is essentially the first part that people see if they land on your landing page. So without scrolling, above the fold is a thing that they see. The reason why you want to test this as one of the first things is because 100% of the people that will click on your ad and land on the landing page will see the above the fold. So if you're going to make tests with the bottom of your landing page, about 50 to 40% of the people that actually click on your ads will scroll down if you have a good optimized landing page. When I was starting with landing pages and my landing pages were not optimized at all, maybe even 10% goes to the bottom. It's the same thing with like the second part of like the Google pages. Nobody goes there. So that's why it's really important to start testing with your above the fold. Now you test the image, the headline, and the description. One thing that I can also already say is you want to have a very similar above the fold as the ad. So something that we always do is, with the ad, we have the same images as with the landing page, because people are familiar with it. If they click on the ad, they are familiar with the images there. Same thing probably why a free consultation worked well is because people are familiar with it. People like things that they know. People don't like change. So that's why you want to change the above the fold first, and that's why you need to have the same elements that you have in your ad also on your landing page. So if in the ad you are talking about filing the IRS and you are going to talk about growing your business on the landing page, there's some difference in there that people are like, but I clicked actually because I hate the IRS, not because I prioritize growing my business. Of course I do, but you need to make sure there's a lot of alignment in this whole process. So just test the image on the landing page, and then the headline. Something that works really well is if your headline is very similar to the headline, the title of the ad, again, because people are familiar with it, and then the description. So those are the first couple of things on your landing page that you need to test. And you need to make a decision yourself. What is lacking right now in my marketing process? Is it the ad? Is it the landing page? What is going on in my whole sales and marketing process that I need to optimize? Typically, if your ads are not performing, I would actually just start with the landing page and take a look at what is actually aligned more. So just start by actually making the ad and landing page more aligned. Don't use your website for landing page. Check out the last video I created where I explain why. But that's step number one. But if you are actually getting a lot of leads from your landing pages and from your ads, this is optimized. But they are not scheduling, you need to optimize your lead nurturing. If you are having a lot of appointments, but none of the appointments show up, you need to change something in this process, okay? So remember when I talked about earlier in this whole video that it's processes within a process. This is your sales and marketing process. But your sales and marketing process is consisting of gathering the details, lead nurturing, scheduling. And the lead nurturing is consisting of SMS, email, calls, and also the nurturing speed. And even the emails is sending the emails is based from processes, right? So it's all a process and a process and a process. So whenever you are going to make changes, I started with the ads and landing page because that's kind of step number one. But if you have already dialed in that pretty in a pretty good way, then you of course need to take a look at what is the main thing that I'm lacking in my process right now, and then of course target those things. So those are the things from the ads and the landing pages. Then landing page, something that you also need to test is the call to action. With a call to action, we basically mean what are the different ways that you actually motivate people to actually get in contact with you. So this can be as simple as call for a free consultation. That's the one that we use, or click here to book your free consult. Those are the call to actions. And a rule of thumb is that every single scroll you want to have one call to action, because let's say that someone is above the fold, the first part of the landing page is the scene, they're not convinced yet, and they scroll down and they read your second part of the landing page and then they are convinced. You want to make sure at the moment they are convinced to schedule a free consultation that they can just click right away and fill in their info. You want to make it as easy for the people as possible. But if they then need to scroll up or down and look for the call to action, the way that people are going to get in contact with you, you are only going to make it more difficult for them. Okay, so call to action, have one every single scroll of the landing page, and make sure that you also test this out. Typically just a green button works really well. Have a clear call to action, different color of the landing page, so it actually pops out there, an eye catcher, and then more people are actually likely to opt in. Okay, so those are the things that you also need to optimize for. And then in terms of the other sections of the landing page, a typical thing that you want to have is an about us, reviews, your services, and your footer. This is really straightforward. We're not going to spend a lot of time for this, but it's basically just where you tell who you are, your expertise, what your firm is all about, where you're located, some values. Reviews, of course, have as many as possible reviews, 5-star reviews as possible. If you have video testimonials, just put those in there. Services, what do you offer? And the footer is basically the last section of the landing page, where are just like your normal opening hours, your contact details, and your last call to action. Okay, so those are the last things that you want to test with your landing page. And you can leave a comment underneath this video if you want me to go really deep into offers, you want me to go really deep into body copy creative. Just let me know what you want to have a video about and I will create it for you. Okay, so by this time, if you are just starting out with your process, your sales and marketing process, or if you want to redo it, start with the ad and then the landing page. If you are going to solve the issue of the reminders first, then you are solving problems that are not even there. Okay, so you start at the beginning, which is the ad and the landing page. Again, test one thing at a time. Let's say that you already have tested a couple of things. It's very hard for me to give you standard KPIs right now because it varies actually from platform, it varies from local area, per industry. So you just kind of need to make a judgment yourself. You can also just ask me in the comments and I'll answer it for you, by the way. But that's one thing to keep in mind. You need to make a judgment yourself and be patient with the whole data gathering thing. Then next step, contact detail gathering. This is a really important thing. So if you have your call to action on a landing page and someone can either call or someone can submit a form, you want to be sure that there are as many ways as possible to get in contact with you. So some people, they prefer to call an accounting firm. Other people, they prefer to fill in a form. You need to make sure that you have a solution to all of the people out there, okay? So offer both phone calls and a form fill. This is kind of, a lot of the marketeers, they don't like this, where you offer them an opt-in and a phone call. But the thing is, the nature of accounting firms is that they always have a way to actually call. Some people have an urgent question. If you and I refer my videos gyms a lot, because I know people that are doing marketing for gyms and we talk about it quite a lot.
But the thing is with gyms is that people don't really call gyms that often, but people call accounting firms all the time. So optimize for phone calls, form fills, and a calendar schedule. What we typically do, phone call always, and then either a form fill or a calendar. Simply because it takes a lot of space in the landing page if you do them both. What we typically do at the bottom, if someone clicks, they go to the bottom directly, they fill in the form, and then they go to a calendar page, or they see the calendar directly. And we are testing right now what actually works best, either a form fill or a calendar. Now, after you've gathered someone's information, you need to schedule them. Now, if you have a calendar, so a calendar directly, of course, you don't have to do the whole lead nurturing thing because you already scheduled them. Let's say if it's a phone call, you also schedule them directly, but maybe the phone call did not end up in a booking, or it was just a form fill who did not end up scheduling. You need to do some lead nurturing. So again, there are multiple ways that people will interact with others. Some people, they will react really good at SMS, others with emails, others really good at calls. Like for example, myself, I never really pick up the phone because I'm in meetings all day and I don't want to get distracted, but I do read my email a lot. Same thing with the leads. Some leads, for example, if you own a plumbing business, you are on the phone all day, because if someone has an issue, they will call you, and it's crucial that you pick up the phone as soon as possible. As an accountant, you are also in meetings a lot of times, so that's why accountants typically check their email more instead of their phone. So test SMS, email, calls, but the most important thing is actually nurturing. How fast are you going to nurture your leads? Nurture speed. So in the ideal situation, if someone submits a form, within a minute they get a call. And that's actually something that we are implementing right now, is where they submit a form and AI is actually going to call them, which is really exciting. Because AI is, if you actually teach it the right things, it's not going to make any mistakes. So nurturing speed, within 5 minutes at most, you want to send them an SMS, email, and a call. It may sound extreme because it is, but it works. So send them an SMS just saying, hey John, I saw that you opted in for a free consultation. We haven't scheduled it yet. Do you want to schedule a time now? And keep following up with them every single day for 5 days. So call them twice per day, send them an SMS the other day, an email the other day. But every single day there will be a touch point from you to them. Okay? And you want to do this 5 days, just every single day one touch point, and then every other day for like a couple of weeks, and then just put them in your email list where you are sending out your monthly emails or something like that. But mainly the nurturing speed will make the biggest change, because people are going to actually opt in over here by using their phone or by using their email. And if they use their phone and you call them, of course they're going to pick up directly. Same with SMS if they have their messages on, but if they email and they are on their computer, probably their email is open somewhere, so they will see your email. So nurturing speed is very important, especially the calling. Calling is just the most straightforward thing actually that you can do. That's why we have implemented the AI thing, because what you will see if you are going to do Google ads or any search ads, about 70% most of the time will be phone calls that you will get. And a lot of the accountants don't know this because they actually don't really track the phone calls that they are getting. They just see that they have a couple of missed calls, but they don't really track everything. So yeah, that's a really, really important thing. So just make sure that you have optimized this over here. Typically what you want to see is that 80% of the leads that you are generating are booking. If you are doing search ads with Facebook or Instagram ads, this percentage will drop a little bit because the lead quantity will increase. With search ads, the quality typically is higher. Okay, then scheduling. This is the time till the appointment. And this is something that a lot of people actually forget. I highly recommend that if you have low show-up rates from the people that booked from your ads, don't really start testing stuff around with the lead nurturing stuff. And don't really start testing around with the reminders, but just shorten the time frame of when people can actually schedule calls. I always like to think about things in extremes to kind of see the principle and the foundations of something. If you schedule an appointment with someone next year, 90% you're going to forget. If you schedule an appointment with someone next month, maybe you will remember, probably not. If you schedule an appointment for next week, You will probably remember, but there's a chance that something will come up. If you schedule an appointment for tomorrow, you're most likely going to remember, but still maybe life can get in the way. If you schedule an appointment for an hour, of course you're going to make it. So of course same day appointments I'm not a very big fan of, because it simply doesn't work. It becomes very chaotic. I always do like a 12-hour window when people can schedule. But the whole thing that I want to get across is, if you want to have as many show-ups, which is basically the whole important thing about this section over here, this is all about getting a good high show-up rate. The time till the appointment is very important. So something that we always do, and that I teach the people on my team, but also the AI now, don't schedule meetings if it's longer than 2 weeks from now. So I rather want to have call back someone to schedule a meeting next week than actually schedule a meeting for next week. Why? Is because, first of all, chances of people not showing up are higher. And I also don't want to bother my clients with people that don't show up, and I also don't want to bother myself, because it still is a spot in the calendar that can also be taken by someone else. So that's something I rather do, because it takes out time for your calendar, where you can also just schedule more high leverage activities. So that's time till the appointment. Then the reminders. This is pretty straightforward. Most people, they have this dialed in pretty easily, especially if you are using Calendly, for example. I think they even automate this. What most people don't do though is calling the leads. And let's just start from the bottom. SMS, just send what we do. We send an SMS with a confirmation, email confirmation, an SMS. We send them an SMS message 90 minutes before the meeting. Hey, we are going to give you a call in 90 minutes, just so you know. An email day before, and then also every day actually till 5 days before. So 5 days before an email, 4 days before SMS, 3 days before email, 2 days before SMS. Then also the day before we call the people, and this is the golden thing that you can implement. The reason why this is very important is because, again, some people, they don't really read their SMS. Some people don't really read their emails. Some people are very responsive to calls. And if you actually are on the phone with people, you can also directly reschedule them if they cannot make it, which is a very beneficial thing for you, of course, because you don't want to keep following up on people where you're calling them and emailing and SMSing them for like a week, and then they're just going to ignore you because they're very busy. Okay, so it's best if you or your assistant, or nowadays AI, is going to call the leads day before the appointment to confirm that they're going to make it, to confirm the address, maybe to confirm that you will call them, and also just to confirm if it's a Zoom call where you send the Zoom link to, and that they also need to check their spam in case it lands in there. Another big thing, by the way, and this is a pretty cool thing that happened, is we actually had an instance with Brian, a client of us, where the interview has already been uploaded by the time that this video goes live. We actually scheduled the appointment 12 hours after the person called. On the phone call, the person signed the actual engagement letter for $3,000 retainer. So even also the time till the appointment is very crucial, because show-ups, but also if someone has a very urgent matter, they want to talk to an accountant now. And if you are the accountant that they are going to talk to now, it's very easy for you to close a high ticket deal, because there's so much urgency for them to work with you. So that's something else. Then over here, this is really the whole sales process, right? The first meeting, the research, and then the second meeting plus sale. Then this process over here is more about the lead generation. This process over here is more about booking the leads, and this is for the show up mainly. Then the sales process that we always follow is basically a 2-call close, is what it's called. Reason why a 2-call close is ideal for accountants, because if it's a more complex client and you are going to give them a quote on the first meeting, but you have not taken a look at their books, their accounting software and everything, the quote is probably going to be a little off. And if the quote is a little off and then you need to correct it later on, I found that a lot of people then don't really trust you that well anymore. And it's also better if you can actually do some research, give them some advice, but also actually during that advice, show to them that you really know what you're talking about. So what we tend to do, first meeting typically is a phone call. The low barrier, and one of the also the reasons why we do phone call first is because some people will still forget that they scheduled that meeting with you. But by scheduling a phone call, you can still get a hang of them. If you do a Zoom call, they need to click on the Zoom link. If you do an in-person meeting, they need to come to your office, which is fine and increases your sales conversion rate. However, if they don't show up to the meeting, then you are lost. If you schedule a phone call, you can kind of interrupt their day by calling and then still conduct the consultation, okay? So that's just something that we have seen works really well. And the reason why I said is that a Zoom meeting or just a virtual meeting and an in-office, in-person meeting works better is because there's more trust. But the show-up rates will also be lower, and we've actually seen that if we just do a phone call first, yes, the conversion rate is lower, but if you compensate with the show-up rate, at the end of the day, the return on investment is higher. So meeting number one, I will not go into too much detail because I am going to create a separate video about this, and I've already made a video about the best sales process for accountants. So go check that video out. It essentially can be phone, digital, in person, and you need to have a sales script. Now, I prefer phone calls for accountants, but you can kind of do what you feel most comfortable about. Having a sales script is crucial. And with saying sales script, I'm not talking about sounding like a robot and being like a salesperson that is going to like script and like touch all the pain points and make you feel bad about the situation and positioning yourself in a way where you can let them feel that you are going to be the best thing ever. That's not what I'm talking about. The sales script is more having a structured way of conducting your sales calls, because you do need to have a structure in there, and you do want to ask questions that's going to dive into their current situation, their desired situation, and what is stopping them from actually getting there. So you do need a sales script, but more for a structured process. And by having a sales script, and again, I'm referring back to a process and a process and a process, by having a sales script, you can also change things about the whole sales call that you will have. So let's say that you are generating a lot of leads, and let's say that a lot of leads are actually scheduling, but not a lot of leads are actually converting, then you directly know by taking the scientific approach and by tracking everything properly that the first meeting is the issue in your whole customer journey. So what you need to do is just map out the things and the things that you are going to ask, okay? So in the beginning of a sales call, I typically just tell them how the sales call goes, and by setting the agenda so that I can just follow the sales script, essentially, just know what kind of questions I'm going to ask. And this way, it's very structured. I know how long the sales call is going to take. They know exactly what to expect. And again, I'm referring back to something that I said earlier. People like to be familiar with something. If you know this is how the sales call goes, and it actually goes that way, they feel comfortable, and they also see, hey, you actually have a clear set process of doing things. This is not your first time doing it. So make your decision yourself, what you would like to do, phone call, digital, in person. If it's from digital marketing efforts, phone call typically works best. If it's a referral, typically, like with referrals, it's so easy. You probably don't even need half of this with referrals. Referrals most of the times already sold before they actually talk with you. So with the first meeting, it's really important that you do a couple of things. First of all, one, never leave the first meeting without a scheduled follow-up meeting. The moment you are going to leave the first meeting and you say, yes, we are going to schedule time later, is the moment that you actually let things come in between. And that's just dumb. Why would you actually create the chance and the opportunity for someone to come in between scheduling a follow-up meeting, okay? People will come to you and people will hire an accountant most of the time because they're very busy and chaotic, and you need to help them with that. And by the time they come to you, they are probably in the most busiest period of their life and in the most chaotic period of their life ever. If you are going to then tell, yes, just schedule a meeting whenever you have time and no chaos, that's the time when they already work with someone else that solved their problem. So make sure you schedule the follow-up meeting on the call itself and get access to their documents on the phone call itself. You want to show them how to actually give you access, and hopefully they already have their files so that you can get them on the call itself. Reason why this is very important is because you need to do some research most of the times. If you already know exactly what you are going to offer them, you already know the pricing, you can do it on the first meeting. But if it's little bit more complex, you want to do some research, of course. Again, and this is what the client of mine did, is where he just knew exactly what he needed to do, and he did the offer and he closed a deal on the first phone call. It was a phone call. I've never done that before. I never signed a deal on a phone call worth $3,000, which is pretty crazy, but it shows it works. So that's really important. Create just a structured script with the things that you want to ask, things that you need. Keep in mind, you want to know exactly where someone is now. You want to know where they want to be, and you want to see what is stopping them from getting to the desired situation. Position yourself as a person that's going to take away the obstacle, and they will work with you. That's kind of sales in a nutshell. Then research. So you have the first meeting and then the research stage. Now, one time till next appointment. This is kind of the same thing as we were talking about over here, because if you schedule the first meeting and then on January 1st, for example, for the sake of just this example, nobody's going to schedule a meeting then. But let's say that you schedule a meeting January 1st and you do the second meeting February 1st. It's a month in between. Maybe they've already found another accountant. Maybe the issue is solved. Maybe they've already given up on everything. So you want to do basically the research within a couple of days, like 2-3 days. Give it just priority. There's also a couple of things. First of all, if they actually get the result of the research within a couple of days, they see that you are very proactive. And one of the biggest reasons why people leave their accountants is because of communication. People, they don't want to really wait a week before you answer their emails, because a lot of times it's urgent. And if they see that you are really proactive and responsive, then chances of them working with you will also increase. And I did this before myself, where I wanted to hire my first accountant, and it took 1.5 weeks before he told me how I can share the documents with him. So then I was like, okay, well, this is not going to work out. Then email follow-ups. You want to keep the whole engagement warm. You want to essentially just tell them what the things are to expect, basic info about your firm. Send them testimonials, send them videos of yourself. Just a set follow-up that you have for all your potential clients, right? Just send them an email, like maybe even on a daily basis when they are in this between those research stages. Advisory. So what you're doing to increase the show up rates to the second meeting, and the show up rates need to be like 95%. But something that the potential clients will appreciate is if you say over here, okay, share me your files, share me the documents that I need to make a proposal. But I'm not only going to make a quote and proposal to you, I'm also going to give you some free advice. And by giving them free advice, first of all, they will appreciate it. The chances of them showing up over here will be higher. But if you give them advice about growing their business in a way where they never thought about, you can actually also relatively easily upsell them and higher services. So I've actually had one client where we were listening back to the recording. He came to the accountant for just basic bookkeeping, which will cost him probably $900 per month, and he left with a $2,500 per month package, which was actually also agreed on to increase the pricing of over time. So advisory will help with that. Then of course the accounting, bookkeeping, and tax. I'm not going to dive into the things over here because you probably know that better than I do. But those are the things that you all want to consider. And one thing that I do want to stress here is, if someone is coming to you because they want to have their taxes prepared for their business, don't stare away from actually offering them monthly services if you think that they can actually benefit from it. If someone comes to you and you can, with an easy question about tax prep, that you can actually see that they can benefit from tax planning and bookkeeping and advisory services, make sure that you offer this to them. Because if they can benefit from it, and if it's going to help them get closer to their desired situation, there's a very high chance of them working with you. And worst case scenario, and this is actually a strategy a lot of companies use, is where if you have a couple of options to go with, option number one, cheapest one, the middle one, and the most expensive one, if you make the most expensive one very expensive, they will be more likely to actually go with the middle one. And yeah, that's something that to keep in mind, and you will see sometimes people go with the more expensive ones if you position it in a better way. That's kind of what to do and think of when doing the research. And then the follow-up meeting. Follow-up meetings are pretty straightforward. Can be done over the phone, digital, and in person. I definitely do not recommend to do it over the phone. It's easier to just do it digital or in person. Again, you want to have a sales script, just a structured thing of questions, structured document of questions. Don't use the same sales script as you've done it before, because then you are going to ask the same questions, which is kind of dumb. So yeah, of course you also have your notes. So for example, I always have like my notes in here for like my sales meetings, and I back in my office I literally have like a pile of like 20 pieces of notes where I just have like going back till the beginning of 2023 where I was having the sales calls. Probably need to digitalize them, but I do like to write things down. So yeah, that's kind of the thing about the last meeting, is that you want to start by summarizing everything you talked about last time, just to see if you missed anything, but also for the potential client to see that you listen to them, that you are aware of the situation, and to kind of get back in the stage. Oh yeah, that's very important to me. That's why I was actually on the phone with this accountant. This is also the type of script where you want to pitch a little harder. Over here, you don't really want to pitch if you're not going to do a proposal. You just want to say, hey, yes, been doing this for like 20 years. I've worked with over 100 businesses. Let's schedule a follow-up call. You just want to create trust, but you don't want to pitch anything. Over here, you are of course going to go over the whole proposal, and you need to talk in more depth about the things that you are going to do for them in a more fake level. So yeah, that's kind of what you want to do over here. You need to position yourself again in a way where you solve the obstacle from them going from the current situation, their current pain points, to their desired situation. That's essentially what you are going to do over here. And with the proposal, that will be the whole thing that's going to take away the obstacle they have to go to the desired situation. And again, test every single thing in here. So that's essentially is the whole process that we follow. So if you are watching this video, the main thing that I essentially want you to do is go into your sales process right now, take a look at what are the things that you think you need to improve, and you can also ask me, and then go work on those things. Go test one thing out. Go test with a phone call instead of the in-person meeting that you typically do for leads that you are generating for marketing efforts. Instead of scheduling your sales appointments or your scheduling window to a week, do it to 3 days. Instead of only calling your leads once every day for 2 days, start calling them 3 times per day for 5 days. Those are all things that you need to test. Again, implement the scientific method. Only test one thing at a time. That's why it's very important that you have patience with this system. Okay. If you're going to test your headline and you finally fix the ads and you know how to create ads, and then you are going to dive into the landing page and the data gathering, this whole process is not going to be done within like 2-3 weeks. This took me 5 years and it's not even done. The whole process is not done. It's never done. So yeah, just that you are aware that it will take some time, but if you're not going to follow a process of optimizing your processes and your processes in the process, then you will never have an optimized process in the first place. So that was the video for now. I really hope that you got a lot of value from it. I will actually put the link to the Miro board in the description so you can take a look at it yourself, so that you can actually see what everything is in here. And again, make sure that you just do a scientific method and test one thing at a time. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. I think it was the longest video so far. If you got some value from it, just leave a like, subscribe to not miss any other videos where I'm going into the details about the rest of this whole process. There's also a link in the description where you can click on if you want to know exactly how I can potentially help you. We work with accountants and we help them to get business clients that come to them for high revenue tax and or accounting services. You probably don't really have the time or the expertise to do this all yourself, so we solve this problem for you, and we don't profit until you do, simply because I do know that the system works. So again, thank you so much for watching the video. I really, really hope that you got some value from it, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.